Welcome back, everyone. Jump Master X podcast episode number 2. Here we are today, and we're going to talk about some things that are completely destroying your vertical and you should not be doing.
Let's let's go. The five worst things you can be doing if you want to jump higher. All right.
Hmm.
We got a little list here we're gonna go over. Some of these are quite common mistakes. Some of these are a little bit more niche that someone probably wouldn't think about, but all these are
Yep.
very important and they do add up and can affect results quite dramatically. So
Right.
jumping straight into it, number
Nice.
one is not going out and getting enough jump reps each week.
Yep. Yep.
Now, the reason this is number one, like these are actually in no particular order, but this is a huge thing because a lot of people, when they're trying to jump higher, especially people that are more beginners, they go, "Oh, what plyometric can I do? What fancy strength exercise can I do? Like, how many tib raises can I do each day? Blah, blah, blah." They ask all these questions, but they never actually cover uh, like how often should I jump, like blah blah blah, like nearly
Yep.
enough in my
Yep.
opinion, and this is the number one thing. And if you're just starting out, just doing this and doing this alone, you will get results and you will jump higher. And it's going to set you up for progressing far more long term as well if you accumulate more jump reps when you're younger. Now, this is like one of, if not the number one reason Jordan is as good as he is today because he
Oh,
did
yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
He started when he was like very young, six, right?
Yeah, yeah, bro. Younger. Younger.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So, um, and everyone I can think of now that is like extremely good or like a very high level dunker,
Mhm.
like 99.9% of the time they did this. And it's almost all they did until um their later like teenage years or even like early 20s.
You know what's funny, bro? Until like a couple months ago, you could have said 100% of people who are elite dunkers and jumpers jumped a lot growing up. But now we have to say 99.9 because Donovan Hawkins spawned in and he's like the only guy I know that I swear didn't like spam like tons of jumps. Unless I'm wrong.
No, no, you're wrong. He did.
Did he?
Maybe not
I just
since he was
heard.
12, but he did, especially
Okay,
when he was a
okay, okay,
teenager.
okay. I just heard he
Yeah.
played ice hockey. So
But even then, like if someone's like athletic, they did something. They did track and field,
yeah, yeah.
they
Something,
played a
something.
sport that involves more maximal outputs. They did something, you
Mm,
know. But the best thing is going to be going out and actually getting those jump reps. Now, like say you're like more experienced as well, and you're not seeing a transfer from the training you're doing in the gym, just increasing the percentage of volume you're jumping each
right.
week and decreasing what you're doing in the weight room, you're gonna see increased transfer just through doing that as well.
Hmm. Yeah. You know how you said before that these aren't in no particular order? I'd say all of them aren't, but this one, because literally if you're not doing this one, nothing else matters, bro. Like to jump higher, nothing else matters. Because you're literally setting yourself up short term to jump higher, because you will jump higher if you're, especially if you're new to training, you're doing a lot of jumps. But long term, if you want your strength training, your plyometrics, all of that to actually carry over more, have the jump reps done, like a majority of them when you're younger or just earlier in your career. Because, I mean, in your experience, right, if you look at me versus you, who does strength training carry over better for, you or me? Me, probably because I have more jump reps than you did at like 17 to 20. Max jump reps, that is, not some max,
Yeah, I didn't start max ever jumping until I was 22, and
which is
say I started at
crazy.
15, I would be far better than I am
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So we are, I guess, uh, from the future, letting you guys all know
Mm.
from our experience.
And I know
Okay,
yeah, bro, we harp on about this thing so much, especially since Jump Master X has come in. We're always like, yeah, jump, 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 jump. And we're always using like, Dylan Hagen as an example. again, Jordan as an example, but we can't stress this enough because no matter how much we say it, we keep getting the same questions, like in person, online, like what's the best plyometry to jump higher? And it's like a 12-year-old kid that plays basketball, and you're like, just go jump, literally. It's that
Everyone needs to
easy.
be reminded of it constantly,
Yeah, and we will
you
keep
know.
going. We will keep saying it because it's the
Yeah,
truth.
no facts. Okay, number two.
But yeah,
Number two is more to do with nutrition. Now, nutrition can impact your
yeah,
performance, your recovery, and your long-term progression quite dramatically, especially like more so if you're under eating consistently. All right, especially the macronutrients, carbohydrates, and protein, because protein is going to be responsible for rebuilding your tissues, like your
right.
muscles, tendons, everything like that. Optimally, carbohydrates, that's going to be more for energy and how you feel and fueling those fast twitch muscle fibers. So if you're under eating just in general and you're not getting enough protein, you're not getting enough carbohydrates, your jump sessions are going to struggle in terms of how long you can jump for, how much energy you have,
Yeah,
the output you're undergoing in those jump sessions as well, like the intensity of the jumps. You're not gonna, if you're under eating protein, session to session, you're gonna be under recovering, so you're more likely to hurt yourself, like strain, tear a muscle, everything like that. So if you're under eating, especially consistently, it's going to lead to more injuries, poorer performance, and slower progress long term. This is a huge, huge thing. And for myself, this is something I focus on quite hugely in terms of my eating habits every single day. I don't like completely obsess over it to the gram, but I am very aware
no.
of how much I'm consuming. And I know you do the same, Tom.
In terms of consuming, yeah. Yeah, you don't need to be bodybuilding, like bodybuilding show prep, type consistent in terms of like, yeah, knowing every gram, every micro macronutrient that you're putting into your body. But you do need a pretty accurate estimate because if you're not tracking it, well, you're just leaving gains on the table as far as I am concerned.
Yeah.
And that's something I've only really started doing in the last like two, maybe not even 2 years, like 1.5 years, like making sure I'm eating enough carbs and protein. Because before I'd kind of just eat till I was like, not hungry anymore. But if you're really trying to progress and take it to the next level, it's just another thing you got to do.
And your results are better now, aren't
Hmm
they? You're recovering better.
More recovering better, consistently making gains in the gym better. I can jump for longer now. Because like it'd be random before, like if I would eat more carbs, on accident before a jump session, I would jump longer, but I wouldn't know why I was jumping longer, and I could like afford to jump longer. But now I can kind of like know that my baseline's like an hour and a half because I'm fueling for an hour and a half.
I would say that's a huge reason why you've gone from like what a 45 to like a 48. You've added three
Yeah,
inches.
yeah, in
I think
like
that's a huge factor.
two years probably. I probably had like, yeah, 45, 44, 45, and like end of 2021, start of 2022. Because I wasn't getting my head above the rim. Maybe like a hair on the rim. Like if my hair like flicked up, it would touch the rim on my best jumps. I remember there was one at Lakeside. But that was like at the start of 2022. So yeah, probably like 3 inches since then.
Yeah.
So not
No,
bad.
100%. I know Jordan tracks daily, what he's consuming, how much protein
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
everything like that. He's pretty onto it too. So
No, he's yeah. Yeah. And
very,
he's actually
very,
pl Oh, you go,
I
you go.
was just gonna say very, very vital.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He actually is he's played around with his weight as well quite a bit in his jumping career. And he still is. Like he's still trying to find like an optimal weight that he likes to sit at because if you're lighter or if he's cutting, trying to get lighter, his recovery might be suboptimal because he's obviously having to eat less calories. But then if he's overeating and trying to increase his recovery, his body weight will go up. So it's always a balancing act, especially when you're at that super elite level and you're really trying to push like even half an inch better. And he's still figuring it out.
Yeah. So number three is overtraining and not letting the body recover enough.
Mm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is a mistake I've made a lot personally in the past.
Same. Yeah.
Um, just doing far too much and just thinking more is always better, but it's just truly not the
Yep.
case at all. You're you only
Mm-hmm.
improve as fast as you can recover, essentially. So
Yep.
like obviously part of recovery is, sleeping enough, eating enough, all that stuff, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, if you're still doing too much, it doesn't matter how perfect your recovery outside of that is, you're still going to struggle and you're still going to struggle to see results, and that can lead to plateaus because your body's just undergoing too much fatigue from a nervous system level. And also it can be from a muscular, like more localized level in terms of your tissues, just, quads always being tight, always being sore, calves always being tight, always
Mm-hmm.
being sore, having tendon pain as well. All these things, so that's where ensuring you're not overdoing it and giving your body a chance to actually recover and adapt properly. Um, that's where you truly maximize your results. Like for me personally, like past several months, I've actually dropped my weight room volume in terms of my lower body. I'm still jumping twice, but I'm only hitting like a strength session once a week, and I'm improving way more rapidly from doing that. Now, for some people, that might not be enough. It depends on what type of athlete you are. But for me and my personal needs right now, I'm getting far better results doing that, and I'm recovering far better. Now, some of you, this might be something you would want to think about, but for other people, like say for Tom, for example, he can handle more training than me, so that's where it's going to be better for him to hit legs at least like twice a week.
Yeah, I find it very hard to get my squat up if I'm. This is what I've only recently found. If I'm doing it like once, twice a week, it's very hard to get my squat up. I definitely can with twice, like 2 times a week volume, but right now I've been squatting, back squatting twice a week, front squatting once a week. So that's 3 squat sessions, deadlifting 3 times a week. And my strength has skyrocketed in terms of the squat. Like I'm talking probably over 10 kg in one training block for front and back squat. So that's really good. Um, but yeah, I think for me at this point in time, volume is something I need just to get better.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like we experienced this with the jump master ex-athletes we train. Like everyone's just a little bit different in terms of their volumes
Mm,
and intensities. Some guys we push on for longer cycles because they progress better, not deloading
shiv.
as frequently. Other people have to deload more. Other people have to train less frequently. Everyone's a little bit different uh, in this aspect in terms of what's going to be most optimal for them. And Tom and I were like on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of
Right.
things. Like for you, you said you don't progress in terms of your strength unless you're training, what, 3 times a
Yeah.
week, squatting 3 times a week. For
Yes,
me,
honestly, it's the same for bench as well. But yeah,
like my strength is actually increasing faster,
yeah,
only squatting once a week. So
yeah.
this is where you need to experiment and find what's going to be most optimal for you because just because another person is doing this and this and this doesn't mean it's going to be the best thing for you and your own personal body.
Right. That's just why, like, if you actually want good results, those cookie cutter programs, and I'm not just talking about for jump programs, I'm talking about for any kind of program. A one-off program, it may work for you, but if you want the best results, you have to get one made for you. Because I was just thinking, have you heard of I think it's pronounced Smolov program?
No, I think so. Sounds
Yeah, and
familiar.
bro, yeah. So it's like it's for strength training. It's a strength program, bro. If you did that, no joke, I don't think you'd come out the other side. Like, even for me, bro, the volume is like just looking at it, I'm like, that's tough. That's a
Yeah.
tough program. And like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could go and do it, but would you come out the other side a better athlete? Probably not.
The other thing is as well, like your work capacity will change over time. So the longer you train
Yeah.
for, you might actually be able to handle a little bit more. So it's not like a forever thing. Oh, I can only hit legs once a week. You might actually
Mm-hmm.
progress to the point
Increase.
where your body can actually handle twice a week and recover completely fine. as well as your work capacity increases over time.
Oh, so yeah, you jump a lot longer now than you used to. Because I remember when I first met you, you didn't jump for that long compared to now. Because we would dunk and you'd maybe rock up like half an hour after. Because I think you had like a PT session like at that same time every week. And then you would do your full warm up, full session, and then like Nick would still be dunking. Like Nick and Chris would still be dunking.
Yeah. No, it varies. It depends how conditioned my body is.
I
Um,
think when you're most conditioned for jumping, you could go for like 2 hours. Pretty easy.
yeah, but I'd argue that's just like junk volume
Overkill? Yeah.
overkill after
Yeah.
like the first hour, 15, hour 30, you know? I
Yeah.
should
It's fun though.
definitely stop by then,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Those are like the one-off sessions, bro. Like at a dunk camp or a dunk show where you're just feeling amazing. That's
yeah.
when you go have those 2 hour sessions. But bro, the next 2 or 3 days, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, the next week you just feel destroyed.
Yeah, you're not doing anything. Mm.
Okay, so number four is emphasizing jump technique far too much. Now,
Oh.
like this is not to say that
Yeah.
you shouldn't focus on jump technique at all or work on it and improve on it. But there's a line with things, you know? Like there's a line to where it becomes you're just overthinking the whole process. And as soon as you start overthinking, that kills any speed and athleticism you had before. Because you're just overthinking, and if you have to consciously think about it far too much, um, I'm sure many of you have experienced this or any sort of sport you play, you perform way worse.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts,
100%.
Tom?
No, no, I agree. I'm just thinking of examples of yeah, like you don't want to be that guy who has like six different cues to get his jump technique right, and then the next week you're trying six different other cues, and your technique looks completely different from week to week. Because at that point, you're not really building off anything. You're getting jump reps in, but you're changing your technique. So you're just building different jump techniques up. So obviously, like Austin said, there is a point where it's like you do need to fix your technique. But even just over time, if you just keep jumping, you see this all like over and over again. People's technique actually gets better. Their body regulates to a technique that's going to work better for them.
Yeah, self-organizes to an extent. Like
Mm.
obviously, like you're gonna have to cue yourself sometimes, like oh push harder here or
Block
uh
harder.
yeah, like but like just focusing on one thing and then
Mm.
like instead of thinking so much about the positioning of where your body is exactly, like what I found has helped myself quite dramatically is instead of thinking about those sort of things, thinking about the feelings, the sensations more so. Like
Oh.
if a jump felt really good, trying to replicate how that felt and just thinking,
Mm.
trying to get it to feel like that. Not so much, oh, I have to put my hand here, or I have to put my foot in this exact position, because that's when things start to slow down, you jump worse, versus thinking about the feeling of something more like, oh,
Right.
that jump felt really good when I felt this. I'm gonna try to do that again, you know? Like when I was like faster at the end of the jump and I felt like I was getting off the ground quicker, I'm gonna try to do that again, and you just rep thinking about the feeling rather than the
Yeah.
exact sort
Yep.
of positioning of where your body is.
I like that. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. And
All
that
right.
helps to avoid overthinking.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so number five is just simply not. This is a big one for you, Tom.
Mm.
I feel like you could go on around here, but just simply not
Yeah.
adding weight to the bar nearly enough, right? And it sounds
Right.
so obvious. Oh, just get stronger, bro. So obvious, but like there's so
Mm.
many times where there's like athletes that we talk to, we see, right? And it's been 6 months have gone by and they're barely squatting anymore. They're barely deadlifting anymore. And I'm like, what's going on here? You know?
Mm.
But yeah, if it's been six
I
months and
thought
you've
it was
only
my end,
added
so yeah.
2.5 kilos to your squat, it's pretty likely that your vertical is going to be plateaued at that point.
Hmm.
Because strength
Yeah.
is the mother of all qualities. It's like the base to an extent, you know? Like if you're uh like plateau in terms of strength, all your other qualities in terms of like your sprinting, your speed, everything like that, like yeah, that might improve a bit, but at some point you need to be producing more total force.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like jumping reps is like a pillar of being a good athlete. Then there's like strength, and then maybe there's like elasticity. I don't know. But yeah, you got to get stronger. And that's not saying every week go and add 2.5 kilos because that's literally impossible. But it means programming yourself in a way where if you look at a graph over the 3 to 6 months, there is a pretty obvious increase in strength. And that is done through playing around with rep schemes, set schemes, tempo, adding different amounts of volume every week, doing that in the right way. It won't even honestly feel necessarily like you're working any harder. Maybe for some weeks it does, but you're going to work yourself in a way that the intensity and the amount of weight that you're lifting over that 3 to 6 months is going to go up. And if you're
It
just doing the
has to.
same, yeah, it has like literally, if you're doing everything right, you'll get stronger. Uh, and people just think it's like as simple as, okay, every Monday, I'm going to do a 5 by 5 on that exercise I'm going to get stronger for. And every week, I'm going to add 2.5 kilos. And that might work for a little bit, but you'll quickly run into a plateau. I'm more than certain, unless you start like doing gear or something.
If
But
you're a beginner though, you to be honest, in your first 6 months, you
oh,
almost could do
ride that
that.
shit. Yeah, literally ride that wave. Please go ride that wave. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I'm talking about once you're like really trying to push some weight. Like I'm talking with back squat. I mean like 2 times body weight and above. That kind of stuff. I'm talking for someone that's around 6 foot, by the way. I'm not talking about 6'8" Gavin squatting 2 times body weight ass to grass. That's a different case because obviously that's like way harder for him. But yeah, moral of
Yeah,
the
like
story,
the other
get
thing is
stronger.
if you're getting stronger and producing more force, your jumping, your sprinting, your plyometrics, the intensity of those will go up just because you're producing more force, so then you start getting more out of those
Yeah.
things. They
Wait, say that again.
self-intensify.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah, no, no, no. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah,
So that's where if your strength is
it's a good
plateaued,
point.
like it's a problem. It's a big problem. And now, like for me and myself, because I like I'm doing everything else right in terms of uh like that I need to be doing in terms of my training. When I get stronger, almost always jump higher now.
Yeah.
The same with you, Tom.
Yeah. Well, what did you say? You wanted to squat 170, right?
Oh yeah, I think I can squat 170 kg in the next 4 weeks
Okay.
because 165 moved easy last time I did it,
It did. It
and I'm
really
stronger
did.
now than when I did it a few weeks ago.
Are you gonna bother with 167.5 or
No, I might next Monday I might do 165 and it just moves easy as fuck. I'll just go
right?
straight to 170. But the thing is, like, I don't want to like it be like an RPE 10 because it's just not necessary to do a
Mm-hmm.
1 rep max like that in training. Unless you just want to do it for fun, nothing wrong with that.
True.
But
True.
um, like if I'm gonna hit it, like I don't know, I would want it to be like quote unquote like sub maximal, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, for sure. That'd be good to see. 170 back squat at 6'4" and 93, you said?
Yeah,
Is that the strongest you've been relative? So you say you hit 170,
yeah, I
would
think
that be the
so.
strong?
I think
It
so.
has
Yeah,
to be. It has to
yeah,
be.
yeah. I think it will be.
Mm.
And then you're gonna hit 200 squat, right?
Yeah, 200 raw.
Bro, that'd be insane to squat 200.
It'd be
Oh,
cool.
what's your
It'd be
squat
cool.
200?
Definitely on track, man. Like I said, that
Yeah.
last cycle of training, I've gotten way stronger compared to where I was. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Because I did
Yep.
165 by 5, like super fatigued on Wednesday. And that was my 5 rep max. So yeah.
Insane, man. Insane. Well, if you guys are wanting to jump higher and you're wanting to get coached by us and Jordan Kilgannon, you can apply for the link down below in the
Yep.
description. I'll also put it in the comments as well of this video. But without further ado, we'll catch you guys in episode 3 of the Jumpmaster X podcast.
See you later, guys.